begin
Yeah.
by having you introduce yourself, spell your name, please,
Yeah.
and tell us what country you're in.
Yes. My name is Elisa Velasco. That's Elisa Velasco, Velasco. And I am currently a Peace Corps volunteer in the Dominican Republic.
All right. Are you at about the halfway point?
Yes, I have 9 more months left.
9 more months.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to the Peace Corps as such, let's have you tell us about your upbringing.
Okay.
Where were you raised?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your parents, siblings maybe. And I'm really interested to know if any of them had an influence on your choice to go into Peace Corps.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, I was actually born and raised in Norman. I grew up in this house.
Mm-hmm.
My parents, my dad is from Mexico. He's from Aguascalientes, and he came to the U.S. when he was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
to Oklahoma. And then my mom is from L.A. Her dad is Mexican, and she came to Oklahoma when she was also a teenager. They met. I'm the oldest of 3. So I have 2 younger brothers. One of them is 22, and the other one he just turned 10. And I definitely think that my family and my upbringing influenced me wanting to join the Peace Corps. Me being Mexican American and living in Oklahoma, and then going to college in LA, I was always surrounded by Mexicans mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I heard about the opportunity to go to the Dominican Republic, I thought it would be a really cool opportunity for me to branch outside of like Mexican culture and
Right.
experience a different Latin American culture.
Excellent.
Because I also studied Latin American studies in college, and so I learned about the Caribbean and Central America and all these different Latino cultures that I wasn't exposed to personally. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to also practice the language, because even though my dad is from Mexico and most of my family on his side speaks Spanish, I think growing up in Oklahoma and just, I guess, getting Americanized, sometimes the language gets lost. And so I really wanted to be in a country where I could serve, but I could also have some personal growth. Like I could get really good at Spanish, and that would help me in the future with my family and getting closer to them.
When you were growing up here in Norman, did you speak Spanish in the house here?
Mm-hmm. I mean, my dad, when I was little, because he still hadn't had too many years in the U.S., he mostly spoke Spanish, but now my dad is very good at English, and so as I got older, he would speak English, and I always understood it, but I think I was just shy, and I didn't want to make mistakes. And also I was in
About Spanish, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was also in a school environment where it wasn't super diverse, and so I would get bullied for being Mexican. And so I think, I don't know, there was parts of me that
Wow.
in middle school. And so I don't know, I think it's a lot different now. There's a lot more pride in the youth, and there's just a bigger community now.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in elementary and middle school, it was kind of like shamed upon to speak Spanish or to be Latino. And so I
Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I wasn't allowed to sit at a certain table.
You
or
weren't allowed what?
to sit at a lunch table.
Oh,
And I had a kid.
my God.
I had a kid on the bus say that he was gonna beat up the next Mexican he saw. So when he saw me, I told him I wasn't, because I was scared.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it was just that internalized like fear, and also when you're a kid, you just want to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have
Sure you do.
friends, and so I tried to suppress that part of my identity. But then once I went to high school and college especially, I was like, no, like I need to be really good at Spanish. And I could always speak it, but not the most fluently. And I also, after college, and I knew that in the future, the community that I would want to work with and help the most through my whatever future job would be, were to be the Latino community, or the community that's closest to me. So I was like, if I want to do that, I need to be good at speaking Spanish and like professionally. And so I was like, let me let me go to a Latin American country for 2 years. That will that will force me to speak Spanish because no one's gonna know what I'm saying in my small town in the DR if I speak English. So
Well, let me come back to that. I think that's a really important point. But first, let's get you in college.
Yeah.
You said you were at in LA?
yes, I went to Pomona College and I studied Chicano Latino Studies and Education.
How in the world did you get from Norman to Pomona?
Yeah, well, my mom is from LA, and so I still have like my uncle, and I still have a good amount of family in California, and we would go visit them every so often. And I think just being born and raised in Norman, Oklahoma, which is a college town, in high school I would go to OU to study. I would go to the library. I would use resources there. So I wanted to go somewhere new, but somewhere where I still felt like I had community. And so for me, I thought California, LA would be perfect because I still have family there that I'm close to. And then I was granted the opportunity to do, they're called fly-in programs. So a lot of private schools who are looking to get more diversity organize these programs where high school seniors who are either low income or from diverse backgrounds can go and visit the school for free.
Oh,
for
wonderful.
a week and learn about it. Yeah. It was a great opportunity, and so I got into that program. I went, I just fell in love with the school. It was Pomona is a small liberal arts school.
I don't think I know where that is in the LA area. I've been out there, but
it's in Claremont, California. I don't know. It's like east LA County, the most east you could get. And they gave me a great scholarship when I got in, so I said, "This is."
You must have had pretty good grades then. Did you?
I was a pretty good student, yeah. Straight A. I was, yeah.
Were you? Did you take? Well, you must have taken a lot of pride in that.
I did for sure. I think. I don't know, cause.
Did a lot of that come from you, or were your parents standing over you saying, "Come on"?
Honestly, I don't know how it happened, because I think my mom was always super involved with school. You know, she's in the PTA, and I think she definitely, pushed me to do good in school. But I think a lot of that came from me, and also just the people I was friends with were very driven, and I just got lucky. I had great friends that also pushed me. And I knew that I wanted to get out of Oklahoma for some time, and so I knew in order for me to do that, I had to get good grades. Like, I needed to get a scholarship if I was going to be able to go out of state.
Sure.
And so I just tried real hard, and
it worked out.
And it worked out.
Yeah. So you had a great time in
college?
College?
Yeah, so I went in my freshman year. I was originally thinking about international studies, but then I had a professor who, she was Latina, and she was in the Latino Studies department. And I was just fascinated. Because growing up in Oklahoma, and even just anywhere, a lot of the history that I was learning in college about my community or Latin America, or the relations between the U.S. and Latin America, I had never learned that before. And so I was just mind blown. And the major was also very community focused. Like, we weren't just learning and reading theory, but we would then like go to a high school and like teach them, or we'd go to a community garden.
Oh, wonderful.
Like, we did a lot of community work while we were learning, and I thought that was really cool, because I think that's where you learn the most, like actually getting out into the real world.
Absolutely.
Not just reading about it.
I certainly agree.
And so I just really loved the major, and I met some great professors, and some of my best friends were in those classes with me, and they inspired me to do the Peace Corps too as well.
When did you graduate from college?
In 2023.
Okay, and what was your degree in?
Latino Studies. Okay. So, yeah, and a concentration in education.
Okay. So it seems like you were headed to the Peace Corps for sure. Everything I've heard. Seems like this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to get there.
It was kind of, I kind of knew about what the Peace Corps was in college, but it wasn't until my senior year everyone was like getting jobs or having interviews for jobs, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And so I literally just Googled. Because before that, the pandemic happened during my college, and so I wasn't able to study abroad. That was something that I always really wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was a bummer that I didn't get to do that. And so I was thinking post-college, maybe there's something abroad I can do for some time. And so I just looked up on Google, Latin America education job. I think one of the first 3 things that popped up was the Dominican Republic, like youth education development. I clicked on it and I read it and I was like, whoa, this is what I'm very interested in doing, because at that time I was working with high schoolers, and I also, a lot of like the music from the Dominican Republic or different cultural things I really like I love bachata and salsa and merengue, all these things. And so I was like, oh, I think I would fit in good in this place, and also the program itself seems very just interesting.
And this was
rewarding.
Peace Corps?
Yes, the Peace Corps.
Okay. All right. Did you know anything or much about Peace Corps at that time?
Honestly, at that time I knew that Kennedy had started it, and I knew that they sent volunteers out. That's really
out around the world, and that they stayed for 2 years. You knew all that.
I from the Google search that I did that day. So I didn't really know a lot of information prior to that. So I did some Google searching, and then I just applied really quick. And I think literally within a day, I got an email saying, we want to interview you.
I'll bet.
And then that week they interviewed me, and that same day they emailed me and said, you have 3 days to tell us if you are accepting this 2-year job.
And it's the one in the Dominican Republic?
Yes.
They didn't give you other Latin American countries?
No. So I ranked, but I said my preference was the Dominican Republic. And so that program I applied to was the youth development one, which would be me working in a high school. And that was the one that I accepted and got into. But the medical process was very lengthy, and it kind of deterred me a little bit.
Probably because of COVID, do you think?
There was just a lot of like blood tests and different like mental health checks I had to do. And at the time, after I graduated in the summer, I was running a summer program, and I was super busy with that. And so I just didn't have a lot of time to do these doctor's appointments. And so they told me I could start in March of the next year. And so that is when I started, March of 2024. And that was working in elementary youth, with elementary youth doing literacy promotion. So that's what I'm doing now.
With elementary youth doing literacy promotion?
Yes.
Promotion where?
So basically what that means is I got assigned a elementary school in a small community. I'm in Bonao. It's what the...
Spell that, please.
Bonao.
Okay.
Bonao. It's like right in the middle of the country. It's beautiful. It's where they have the most rivers, and it's amazing. I love it there.
So it's not a coastal town.
It's not a coastal town. I'm about 3 hours from the closest beach.
3 hours?
2.5.
Oh, wow.
3. Yeah. And so, yes, I got placed in a elementary school, and basically our main job is to work with the first, second, and third graders who are behind in their reading skills. And it's usually basic things, so letter recognition,
They're
sounds.
reading Spanish, right?
Yes, I'm teaching them Spanish.
Are you teaching them English, too?
I have done small informal English classes with the English teacher, but that's not my main role there.
Okay.
It's not the thing I focus on the most. And so the thing I do the most is tutoring sessions. So I evaluate all of the kids and I see which ones need the most help, and then I create tutoring groups with them and I take them out. We just work on syllables, putting words together. The Peace Corps, we did 2 months of training, and they taught us all of the different techniques we could use.
Now let's get back to training. Where was the training, and how many of there were you?
Yeah. So we did training in a town called Bani, which is about 45 minutes west of the capital, Santo Domingo. And Bani is spelled B-A-N-I.
Okay, now, was this in March of?
This was in March of 2024.
Okay, and how many were you?
So in
your training group?
There were only 14. Yes, and so there was the elementary literacy promotion group, and then there was the community economic development group.
Oh, two completely different
There
cohorts.
Were two sectors, yes, but we're the same cohort. And there were, I believe, 10 of us and 4 of them. So it was a very, very small cohort in compared to most years.
Yeah.
And we have talked about maybe why that is, and I think part of that is because we were the, I believe, second or third cohort after COVID. And so maybe just fear of, because it's a job where you know you're not going to be making a lot of money, you know? You're doing it because you want to do it and you want to help. And I think post-COVID, a lot of people maybe feared not having economic stability. That's what people in Peace Corps have been talking about. But yeah, there were 14 of us. Now there's actually only 10 of us.
What do you mean?
Like, people have dropped out.
4 dropped out?
Yeah, one just dropped out yesterday because her dad is sick.
Oh,
he has a terminal illness, and so and she was great. She was actually one of my favorite people in my cohort, and last night she told us that she has to leave early, which I totally understand, you know.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
It's very unfortunate.
One of the RPCBs I interviewed was the former mayor of Tulsa. His name's Roger Randall, and he was in Brazil. He was there for about a year, and then he got notice that one of his parents had died, or was very sick, and wasn't expected to live. So he flew home. That parent died, and then the other parent said, "I really need your help."
Of course.
So he could not go back, despite the fact that he was having a great life in Brazil.
I bet.
Yeah.
No, it's very unfortunate, and she was really loving it there too. She lived in Barahona, which is in the south, one of the most beautiful beaches. She was literally, her house, you could see the beach. And she loved her community and the kids. She was doing great work. So it's very unfortunate, but it happens.
Oh, yeah.
But we were telling her, you know, you've been here a year or there, and she's already made so much change in her community, and the time was still time very well spent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those 14 people who were in training with you, did they all speak Spanish fairly well?
In my cohort, we were a rare cohort where I think about half of us were Latino, and so we came in, some of them fully spoke Spanish. About 4 of us were like, you know, we, like myself, like we knew, but we just maybe needed a little bit more grammatical help with things.
Yeah.
And then there were about 3 that didn't know any Spanish, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think they got assigned there?
I think that the Peace Corps now is having a lot more trouble getting people to sign up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, especially...
Do you know why?
My guess is that, I mean, there's just less funding for it, so that means there's less recruitment. Like, I don't think that there's people at OU anymore recruiting for the Peace Corps. There's just less HR people. They fired a lot of people in DC with the new...
I heard that.
Yes, my doctor in the Dominican Republic, he got let go because of budget cuts.
Is that right?
So now we only have 2 doctors in the office instead of 3. And there's a lot of budget cuts that are being made that we can feel already as volunteers.
Wow.
For example, training is now a week shorter, which means less language practice. There's a lot of little things that we're starting to feel.
Well, that's very interesting to me, because I've heard that there are budget cuts, but I don't understand where they are and what they are, you know, because I'm not getting very many particulars until now.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've heard, most of the cuts are coming from were from the DC, so
Yeah.
the operations part of it. We will still get paid the same amount, but also the Peace Corps, our budget did decrease. And so, for example, for training, we used to get to take home like materials to take back to our community. Now that's not so much a thing.
And you said your training is 1 week shorter
Now it's 1 week shorter, yeah.
than it would have been.
For the cohort that just got here about 2 weeks ago, or
Okay.
that got to the Dominican Republic.
And so, how long was the training that you took?
I believe it was from March, the beginning of March to about May 15th was when we had our ceremony.
Okay.
So now would be just a week earlier than that.
All right. Well, that's tough to cut out a week because it's already compressed.
Yes, I was like, I don't know how these people are doing it, because we already felt like we were just bombarded with information, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the volunteers for sure.
But when you got in, you couldn't see this coming.
No, I mean, because also when we came in, the elections hadn't happened yet, and so we didn't know what was going to happen. And a lot of us are still surprised that we're still serving in the Peace Corps, that it still exists.
Really?
Yeah.
You all really think that? I never thought that.
I think some of us were worried when USAID got cut, because
Yeah.
a lot of our funding for projects comes from USAID. Like, for example, every day in my tutoring sessions, I use these decodable books that are different levels. And those books were funded by USAID. And a lot of the materials that we use, or a conference that the Economic Development Group used to do every year, they don't have the funding for that anymore because it was funded by, I'm not sure if it was exactly USAID, but something that got cut with the administration. And so all these cuts were happening, so we were a little bit worried.
I see now. I understand.
We were a little, I think, knowing that the Dominican Republic was the oldest country to have a partnership with the Peace Corps, I think that made us in the DR feel a little bit better, because we're like, okay, there's a long-lasting program here. It would be a lot to just cut it. So
yeah, so you felt a little more secure.
A little bit more secure, for sure.
Yeah.
But it sucks. I know that there were some people who were accepted. I forgot the exact countries. I know Ethiopia was one of the countries that got cut last minute. Because there were cohorts that were supposed to go, and then last minute they canceled them because of the budget cuts.
Okay. All right, so you are training for a few weeks, and as training is going on, did anybody drop out during training?
We had one person drop out the first week. She was a little bit older. So we all flew into Miami first, and we met in Miami. That's where we had our staging. And then from Miami, we went to the capital for about 2 weeks. And we stayed in I believe it was a Catholic, what's it called, convent?
Okay.
We called it Jesus Jail.
Jesus Jail?
That's what they called it, because we weren't allowed to leave. And so every year, I don't know which cohort started that, but now it's just called Jesus Jail. So we were in Jesus Jail for 2 weeks.
I don't understand. Why were you not allowed to leave? You mean you couldn't go out on the street?
Like, we could go outside of the gates. There was like a little store there, but we weren't allowed to like go and walk. I think because
around.
Also a lot of people didn't have the language skills, maybe, in case something happened, and we didn't know the area, and I think it's just a safety precaution, you know.
Okay.
But yes, so we were there for 2 weeks, and there was one woman who she ended up leaving. I think it wasn't for her. Yeah, she had different.
It's good to find out early.
Yeah, no, I think she made the right decision.
Okay, but the rest of you are out in the country now, working. Well, except for the ones you said that,
yes.
like this person yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after the 2 weeks, we go to Bani, and that's where we have our training for 2 months.
Did you stay with the host family in Bani?
Yes, I stayed with a host family. It wasn't the best experience, that one.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I mean, she was nice. She just wouldn't feed me sometimes. And
She wouldn't feed you sometimes.
in the morning. It seemed like I wasn't too much of a priority. I was just there. But her mother, who lived like a 5-minute walk away, would cook. And so I would just go to her house and I would get fed through her. She was great. The grandma treated me so kindly. But the person I stayed with we had some problems. Or she just wasn't the most appropriate fit.
Do you think she was cheap? She was taking your money but not providing everything?
I think that was a part of it, because there would be no food in the fridge, but she would have her nails done and her hair done. And I was like, please, a piece of bread. But thankfully, like, the neighbors, they knew how she was, so they would actually give me food, and
Wow.
there was always snacks during training, and so I was okay. I made it out okay, and I just told the Peace Corps, if y'all send trainees back to the site, don't put someone in her house.
Yeah.
And they didn't, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. You were the only one with that person, right?
Yes.
There wasn't another PCV
with me
staying there.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It was just me. Yeah.
All right.
So we all had our individual host families.
Okay. And what were you doing in the town?
Yeah. So in the town in Bani, every day we would walk to a little community center, and it was just the education group I was with.
Yeah.
The 10 of us, and we would have trainings about. Every day was a different topic. So, for example, one day, how to teach the sounds of the letters, or how to partner with parents.
Mm-hmm.
How to do the literacy assessments that now I do like every single day. So just technical stuff like that. And we would also do language practice every single day. They had groups set up based on your language level.
Mm-hmm.
And then some days we would also do different cultural things, or like, for example, one day we went to the Capitol and they taught us how to use the metro. And that, now every time I go to the Capitol, I use the metro. And it's great. Like, it's amazing. I love it.
Is this like a streetcar, or is it
It's
like a
underground.
subway?
Yeah, it's like a subway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's very clean, and there's air conditioning, and it's very safe. I love taking the metro. So we did stuff like that. We also did history lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also talked about Peace Corps safety and rules, things like that. Like, we're not allowed to ride motorcycles. We're not allowed to drive cars. Things like that. So every day was just something different.
Okay. All right. So you were there for a few weeks, and then you were going to go out to your assignment?
Mm-hmm.
And were you going to be by yourself in your assignment?
Yeah, so the way that they started doing it is so people that maybe they weren't in the same community exactly, but they were close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because they found that people were more likely to stay if they had other volunteers close to them.
Oh, that's
community.
interesting.
Yeah, if they weren't so isolated.
Uh-huh.
And so we had 2 interviews where the Peace Corps staff from our departments or our sectors would interview us, basically asking, like, what would you like in a site? And so some people wanted to be somewhere very isolated in the mountains. Some people wanted to live in a bigger city.
Yeah.
For some people, it was really important to be around nature, because although we have our individual assignments like economic development or youth literacy, they also emphasize doing environmental work during our trainings too.
Like what?
For example, a lot of volunteers start community gardens or school gardens. That's something I did. Or something I did in my community. Do you know what an eco brick is?
No.
It's basically, let's see, I have a plastic bottle, any plastic bottle, and you fill it up with unrecyclable, or with trash, so like chip bags, stuff that's not gonna, that can't decompose.
Yeah, okay.
Or you can fill it with dirt, so to where it's super compact, to where it's like a brick.
Yeah.
And you can use that as the foundation to build stuff. And so something that's a big, big problem in the Dominican Republic is trash. And there's no like trash infrastructure or education on it.
So people just throw their stuff?
There's trash everywhere.
Huh?
And
and that's a cultural thing more than anything?
I think it's a cultural thing, because I remember in elementary school, middle school here, they would teach us, reduce, reuse, recycle. And in the schools, we even had like, okay, this is our trash can and this is our recycling. And that was something that was taught. And even, there's trash cans in communities. Over there,
sure,
there's not that. So kids just throw trash wherever. Not kids, everyone,
Yeah, everyone.
And so I was inspired by my friend who's from Kenya. She did a project where she made benches out of the bricks. The kids collected trash and bottles from the community, and they built benches and garden beds. And so I decided to do that with my school. I can show you where we finished. So I had the kids, I said in 1 month I want to collect 3,000 bottles, because that will help us make 6 benches.
And how are you going to do this? Just go out on the street and find them?
Oh yeah, there's lots. There's lots. And let me tell you, in 3 days, the kids collected 5,000.
Good Lord.
5,000 water bottles from the streets they collected in bags. And so then after that was the task of filling them with dirt. And then I can show you, we're making a video right now. They just painted them. They look really great. But that was another like side environmental project example that I did.
And how did this come about? Whose idea was it?
It was mine. Well, I was inspired by my friend who did it in Kenya.
Oh.
And then once I got to my community and I saw the amount of trash that there was, and also we have a basketball court at our school, and they do a lot of events there, like when there's a Christmas or when there's an event and they need a big space, they invite the parents and they do it there, but there's no seating. And so parents and kids are just sitting there, or they're sitting on the dirt floor, and now they're getting dirty. So I thought, like, we need benches here, and also there's so much trash in the streets. Let's combine this idea together. And so,
what a great idea!
Wow. So I'm working right now on a Peace Corps manual, so that other Peace Corps volunteers can replicate it in their communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully I finish that.
Oh, that just sounds like such a great idea.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll show you after this the benches. They're pretty cool.
All right. How long were you into your stay in your country before you came up with this idea? Did you have it while you were still in training, or did you not until you were assigned, until you reached your assignment?
I think that I had the idea once I was in training, because even in the community we were in training, I noticed that there was a big trash problem. And I don't know, I still talk to that friend that did that project, and so that idea was always in the back of my mind. Maybe this is something I could do. And honestly, the reason that I was able to do it is because at my school they have a parent association, and the president of it, Julie, she was amazing. And when I told her about the idea, she was like, this is the best idea.
Oh, wow.
And so because of her support, and then my coordinator, they were very supportive of the project, which I think was everything, because I think the Peace Corps also emphasizes that, like, if it's not something that the community wants, it's not going to happen. And I think that's so true, because there were so many people that I needed. Like, I needed to know someone that could help with the cement, or someone that had a truck to bring the dirt, or someone that would donate this, and this. And so if I didn't have those people supporting the project, it wouldn't have happened.
And you have the kind of personality to bring that out in people too. I see.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think they'd think that what you had to say with the enthusiasm that you use, to be quite compelling. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Let's
so
do this.
I said, let's do it. And so me and the president, the mom, we just like made a little poster board, and we went to all the classrooms and we said, we're doing this. And we said, this is what really got it. We told the classrooms, the classroom that collects the most water bottles is getting a pizza party. And after that, they started screaming. And right after school, they started collecting water bottles. So that's really what did it, the pizza party.
So now tell me about your teaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go what you have to do.
I'm sure I need to go something.
No, you're
Certainly.
okay.
Thank you.
My teaching, yeah, it's great.
You're assigned to one school.
Elementary school, yes.
And you said grades 1, 2, and 3?
That's what we mostly focus on. But once I got there, I realized that there were some kids in 4th and 5th grade that were way behind. They were at the same level. I had a 14-year-old student who we were still working on the vowels.
Oh, wow.
And so I realized pretty soon that, okay, I think I need to prioritize maybe some of these 4th graders over some 1st graders who are just now learning, you know? And so when I first got there, the school is very, very small. And so I was just in a little desk outside, and I would just pull kids out. It was a little bit inconvenient, though.
You said you were outside?
Yeah.
Literally outside the building?
Yeah, like there wasn't a space for me. And so when it would start raining, I just couldn't work. I would just go to the kitchen and start drinking coffee with the ladies, with my host mom, because my host mom worked at that school.
So there was literally no space for you to have a desk inside?
Yeah, no. Because even the classrooms were super saturated. But then, thankfully, they got some funding and made like a makeshift classroom for me and the coordinator of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. They call it the first cycle. So there's 2 cycles. First cycle is 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Second is 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I mostly work with the first cycle coordinator. And so they just got these like plank wood things, and they built walls. And then we have office now. Now, when it rains, I can still work with the kids. It leaks, so we need to fix it, actually. But it's great. So I was very appreciative of that space. And I know a lot of volunteers that they don't have a workspace either. They just, like, set up a little spot outside, and that's what they have to work with.
If you weren't there, who would be teaching those kids?
No one.
No one? So there's literally not any teachers.
Well, there are teachers, yes.
Who could teach these grades?
Well, so what I do, I don't have my own classroom. I just do pull-out sessions with kids, tutoring sessions.
Pull out from the classes
from their
that
classes.
they're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pre-K through 6th grade school. And then another thing I work on too is doing lessons with teachers. So for example, I'll look at the curriculum of 1st grade and I'll see, okay, today they're going to work on the letter C, because in Spanish C has 2 different sounds depending on the letter that goes, the vowel that's after it. And a lot of the kids are not understanding that. And so I'll create a lesson with the teacher, and I'll do the lesson with the teacher. Or this is a huge thing, a huge problem with literacy in the Dominican Republic is that the way it was taught, there's this famous book called Libro Nacho. I believe that's what it's called. And basically all the kids in the past learned to read with that book. But it doesn't teach kids how to read phonetically. It just teaches kids how to, the syllables. So for example, ma, me, mi, mo, mu. Sa, se, si, so, su. But if you have a word that isn't just 2 syllables, there's like an in between it, they don't know what to do.
I see.
And so what the Peace Corps and also the Ministry of Education in Dominican Republic is starting to do is teach kids the individual sounds of the letters, because if they know the sounds of the letters, they'll be able to read. And so that's certain teaching methods that I will work on with the teachers, or I'll do specific lessons in the classrooms with the kids about that.
Yeah.
But
Okay. And you've been doing that since you got there. Well, since you arrived in the country.
Yeah.
And do you have any plans to expand it?
Yeah, one thing that I really want to start this year is, well, because one thing I noticed is that I'm only one person, and there's so many kids that need help.
When you say they need help, you mean
They
really
need individualized
basic?
help.
Yeah.
Yes, like third graders that still don't know their alphabet, or just with simple reading things. And the teachers also have so many kids in the classroom, and a huge problem also is that
How many would you say?
I think the 5th grade was like 40.
40? Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a lot. But another big problem is that the Ministry of Education there, they're very strict with their teachers and the curriculum, and they will check the notebooks of the students. And so what happens is basically the teachers will write down the information and the students will copy it on the board. So I would say 90% of the classroom time is just students copying things from the board.
Oh, wow.
Not actually teaching them certain things. And so I will look at these kids' notebooks. I'm like, what did you write? And they have no idea what they just spent the whole day writing.
Good Lord.
So that's a huge problem and something that I've been trying to talk about with the teachers. But it's hard because they're in a pickle too, where it's like the technicians from the Ministry of Education will come in, and if they don't see that the kids have that information in their notebooks, they're going to penalize the teacher.
Oh, so it's all standardized.
It's all standardized, and it's just not great because the third graders aren't on that standard. They're just not.
So it's impossible for them, and they wind up being the victims of this.
Yeah, and so one thing I'm trying to start this year is like a program in the school where the 6th and the 5th graders, because there's some amazing, excellent, smart kids who have great leadership skills.
Sure.
It'll basically be like a book buddy type program. So the 6th and 5th graders will help me do tutoring sessions with the little kids, or they'll take them out and read with them. Because I remember when I was in elementary school, we had book buddies, and a 5th grader would take us out and we would just read with them.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these kids need, is just exposure to books. Most of them don't have books in their homes. Their parents don't know how to read. They just need to see a book and see letters more.
Well, where are the books?
The books?
Yeah, I mean, you want to read books, but if there are no books.
Yeah. Oh, we have books at our school.
What kind of books are they?
It's just, that's the thing. A lot of them are either the decodable books, which are not super... Like, if I was a kid, I wouldn't really want to read that book. It's not super
interesting.
Interesting. And also something that I started was letting the kids borrow books. Because before, the teachers and the staff didn't want the kids to take home books.
Because they
were afraid they would mess them up. But I'm like, we just have to start letting them take home books. Because if they're not doing the work at home, like, I don't know, they need as much exposure to books and to reading as they can.
Oh, absolutely.
And once you build trust with them, they'll take care of the books. All the kids, like, I make sure they bring them back, and I give them a reward if they do, a sticker, a piece of candy, and they know.
Do you get much pushback from the teachers then when you come in and you're...
I say the teachers, they tell me I need to work less.
Work less, and what does that mean?
They say, just sit in the kitchen and drink coffee, Elisa.
Oh. Cool off.
They're like, just stop. They admire the work, and one thing that actually a lot of teachers say is that Americans have a different type of work ethic. And I thought that was very interesting. Because, for example, for lunch, we have lunch and I eat, and then after I'm done eating, I'm like, okay, let me go take out another kid. I'm done eating. But they're like, Elisa, no. Sit down, drink coffee, let the food digest. Why are you trying to go back to work? But in my head, I'm like, half of third grade doesn't know how to read.
I know.
We're
shoot.
gonna get out of school in 2 hours. Like, let me take some kids out. It's okay, my food will digest.
And if I don't do it, who will?
Exactly.
Nobody. So I've got to do it.
Yeah, and so even my coordinator at the end of the year, she's like, Elisa, we worked too hard this year. Next year, we're gonna take it
What do you
easy.
mean your coordinator?
So I told you there's so for first, second, and third grade, the first cycle there's a coordinator. So I'm not really sure exactly what she does.
Do you, would you consider her to be your boss?
I would say she's a good counterpart, and anytime I have an idea about something, I always talk to her about it.
Okay. And you need her permission to
I don't
move on?
exactly need her permission, but I just like to let people also in the school know what I'm doing and ideas I have. And also the Peace Corps tells us like we need to let the staff know what we're doing. So she's always the first person I talk to. We also share an office, and so yeah, I always let her know.
Do you think that any of the teachers look at you and say, she's not like us at all? I don't.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And you're not
Yeah.
in many ways. But on the other hand, is that bad?
I don't think it's bad. I think
You want to fit in, but you don't want to fit in to the extent where you're not doing what you think you need to do, right?
Yeah. No, that's very true. And I think
Is that something you think about much?
honestly, I do think about it, but I think once I am in the school and I'm working with the kids, I kind of ignore it. Because I'm like, this is my priority, like helping these kids learn how to read. And so if a teacher is saying that I'm working too hard or that I like need to take a break, like, but I feel good, then I'm just gonna keep working.
Do you ever get the feeling that you're being overwhelmed, that you're overwhelming yourself with all these kids and their needs, and it's just you? And
Honestly, yeah, sometimes it is overwhelming because I feel like I'm the only one in the school sometimes that cares.
And so what do you do when you start thinking that way?
When I start thinking that way, I think this is where, going back to where whenever they place us in communities now, they try and put us close to other volunteers.
Yeah.
So I'm so thankful, like literally 4 houses down from me is another volunteer.
Oh, 4 houses. Oh, wow.
4 or 5. So there's 2 elementary schools in our community. So she works at one and I work the other. So anytime we're feeling any type of just pressure, we always just talk to each other. We just validate each other's feelings, which is I'm so thankful that she is there, because she also feels those things throughout her school. We're feeling the same things. We're dealing with the same kids with similar situations, and so
you bounce ideas off one another?
For sure, yeah. Like she started a creative writing club with her kids, and like that's also something I want to do this year. So yeah, she inspires me so much, and ideas I do influence her. So, and we'll share resources too. Like some days I'm like, hey, can I use that one game that you made if you're not using it? She's like, yeah. So we help each other a lot.
Have you identified any students that you think could be good creative writers?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's a small enough school where even if I'm not working with certain 5th or 6th graders, like I'm still talking to them during recess, or I'm also like the new American girl, and so they rush to me, like they want to ask me questions, they want to know how to say tree in English, or different things, and so
Do they want any money from you?
I mean, sometimes the kids will be like, do you have 25 pesos? I can buy some chips. And I'm like, no, I don't.
You never give them money.
If I'm working, for example, sometimes I we'll take kids out and we'll work in the garden, and it's really hot there. And so I'll buy them juice, or I'll buy them crackers, you know,
Sure.
if it's a special thing. Or if they behaved really well, I'll give them like some candy. But I try to not, because then everyone's going to ask me. And also, a huge thing is a lot of people think that because I am from the U.S. that I have this like wealth.
Yes,
that I don't
yes, they
have.
do. I know.
Like, you know Punta Cana?
Huh?
Do you know Punta Cana? It's
No.
like the most touristy spot in all of Latin America.
Mm.
And when I tell them that I haven't gone there, they're like, what? You haven't been to a resort in your life, but you're American. And I'm like, well, see, not all Americans are rich.
Yeah. Oh, I understand. Sure do.
And also, teachers in the DR get paid fairly well, and I get a Peace Corps salary. I'm not a Dominican teacher salary.
You don't get the same salary that the Dominican teachers get.
Yeah, no.
Yours is less?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was a teacher, and we got the same as the Filipino teachers.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I think because maybe in the DR, teachers are paid pretty well. They have a very strong union,
Oh.
and they've been able to...
I wouldn't have thought that.
I wouldn't have either.
Huh. They have a strong union?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Honestly, the union, like, it might be too strong.
Do you think that the union is a big benefit to the teachers?
I think so. Sometimes I think it might be harming students, though, because...
How?
For example, today they didn't have school because the union was voting on their next president.
Mm.
But in my head, I'm like, if you know that kids in the country are behind, do the voting after school. Do the voting during the weekend. Like,
Yeah.
why? It's frustrating sometimes when I have like a plan for what I'm going to do, and then they'll text the morning before and they're like, there's a union meeting tomorrow, no school. And I swear that happens all the time. And sometimes it's nice. I'm like, yay, I get a day off. But then in my head, I'm like, oh my goodness, Hennessy's in 4th grade. Like, she doesn't know the difference between B and D. We were supposed to work on that tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I understand.
So,
Let's talk about books again for
Yeah.
a minute. I think that's really important. And you mentioned USAID.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the Philippines, I looked at our school library and there was almost nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked through the books and a lot of it was just garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went into Manila one day where I knew USAID was and said, could you donate books to my school?
yeah.
And they said, sure, up to 250.
Cool.
And I said, oh, okay. And so 2 weeks later, they were delivered.
Wow.
You have anything like that?
Yeah, there is. I forgot. I could look on my phone right now what the exact program is called, but they do some book donations to the DR. That's one thing I'm going to work on for this school year too.
Is acquiring books?
Yeah, acquiring entertaining and like fun books for the kids. Because we also did get some book donations, but the books were just like, the kids aren't going to read this. They're not.
Right.
They're not going to
No
read
good.
it. No. And also a big problem is my school, we don't have a library.
No library.
We don't have a library. And so
So where are the
made-
books?
I made like a mini library in the office, and then last year I made like mini libraries in all of the classrooms. So that's what we have for now.
But there were no libraries at all before you got there.
Yeah, all the classrooms would have a little section where they would have the books, but the books were kind of just like thrown around. Like I tried to...
Were they like
organize them.
textbooks or not?
Like the decodable books, or just random books that they would have, or some were like textbook type workbooks.
So was it more like window dressing than it was actual real?
Yeah, and it's also like I was saying, like the teachers and staff didn't want the kids to take home the books. So it's like, and if they're copying down work all day and then they have recess, they're not actually using the library. You know?
Now, most of your students come from, would you say, impoverished families?
I
So
would
that they
say-
couldn't even afford to get a book?
I think that's another big thing too. I would say my school, my community is definitely on the lower economic side. There are some kids who maybe are more middle class, but I would say most kids, they come from pretty high poverty. That's
Have
why
you been in some of their homes?
Yeah, so I've done
Okay.
some home visits.
So you know.
Yeah, one kid, the kid that I told you who was 14, that we were still working on the vowels, we went to his house because he wasn't going for weeks, and they had to check up on him. We had to cross a river and then walk through through a field in the mountains to get to his house. So then I was like, this is why he's not going to school. Because he has to cross a river and then like change his clothes, and then if it rains a lot, which it rains a lot in the Dominican Republic, the river, like, it's dangerous for him to cross. And a big issue too is that a lot of parents don't know how to read, so it's really hard when kids have homework, they come home, and so I communicate with parents through WhatsApp, and it's always voice recordings. Like, I never type anything because
They can't read it? Yeah. Okay. Boy, you've got a monumental task going here, don't you?
Yeah, and I think sometimes with literacy work, it's harder to see the progress. But at the end of the year, I was blown away after I did their assessments and just seeing how far they have come. Like, it's really great. Sometimes it's a little bit like, I don't know if the word is demoralizing, or just, I get to school and I've been working for a month on the letter A, and then she still isn't getting the letter A. It's one girl, oh my goodness. Hopefully this summer something clicked in her head and she remembers the letter A. But I feel like there's moments like that every single day that I sometimes feel like I'm not helping these kids. But then once I do the evaluations, I'm like, okay, actually, they have learned.
There's some real valid proof right there.
Yeah, the numbers are showing, and even the teachers will be like she's reading now. Like, thank you.
Yeah. That's.
So it's worth it at the end, and even just a lot of the kids they don't live maybe with their parents, or their parents are separated, or they live with a grandma or an aunt, and so their home lives are so unstable.
Well, you can't do anything about that.
But that's why I try my best to make sure that, like, my classroom space is a safe space for them. And I think even the teachers, like, sometimes treat the kids not the greatest. I went into the 3rd grade classroom and I was gonna start evaluations. The teacher was like, raise your hand if you're not a good student and you don't know how to read, so that she can go help you. And I'm like, this is not...
Oh, no. That's embarrassing.
It is. And so I'm like, this is not the way that you're going to help this kid learn. And so I work a lot on positive affirmation and just, like, small little rewards for the kids, because I know a lot of them at home aren't getting that love. That's why they cling on to me so much, because I try to be nice to them and show them, a different way of acting. And
sure.
And so even if I know that some of the kids aren't as advancing as much as I would like them to, I'm still thankful that at least I can, like, be a person for them that is going to be kind to them in their day.
Oh, that's wonderful. Did any of them want to move in with you?
Oh, yeah. They know where I live. Thankfully, I live on the 2nd floor, and so they can't get to my apartment. But sometimes I'll be, like, trying to take a nap, and I just hear, Elisa! And I'm like, oh, God, I just pretend I'm not home.
Do you get much opportunity to go out and explore Dominican Republic?
For sure.
Tell me a little about that.
They're called R&R days, which I think stands for rest and relax. And so we get 2 of those a month, which is in country. And thankfully, my cohort, we're very close, and I've met other really amazing volunteers in the country. And so we'll plan, for example, like, if I haven't visited a certain part of the island that another volunteer is at, I'm like, hey, can I go this weekend?
Yeah.
And then we'll go. Or,
And transportation is okay?
yeah, so they have buses there. That is a whole other journey. I live off the highway, so I just stand outside the highway and I flag someone down. And sometimes you're in a little bus that feels like it's going to break down, and there's 20 people in it, and you're like, there's no way they can fit more people. And then they fit 10 more people. All of a sudden, you're holding a baby.
Oh, I know.
And like another kid's on your lap. And honestly, I love taking the bus. It's always an adventure.
Do you also occasionally ride with chickens and other things like that?
Chickens, for sure, animals.
Yeah. Oh, sounds the same to me.
Yeah. And then also a really cool thing that they have in the DR is medical missions. So Peace Corps volunteers can sign up to do those, and those are all over the country. And so I am the medical mission volunteer coordinator, so I help volunteers through the medical mission process.
How did you become that?
Well, my friend was the chair, and the first mission I did was in the Capitol, and it was a reconstructive plastic surgery mission. So people that, for example, had a cleft lip palate or different types of things would go, and that mission had been going for, I believe it was the 39th year. It's called MACLA, MACLA. And I went, and it was the most incredible thing ever. You know, like, I got to see live surgery, which was super cool. Like, I saw the inside of someone's skull. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I just made great connections with these families, and it was so cool to...
Families that need the service.
Because we prioritized the kids, and so I would help translate between the doctors or the nurses and with the families. And so it was just a really amazing opportunity, and to see how thankful they were, and to also make connections with these families. Like, some of these families I still talk to. They're like, when are you going to come visit? Because also that's a super scary moment. Like, this, you're from a small town in the DR, and this, like, white American, tall, blue eyes, like, you know, about to, like, cut your child's ear open. And so I was very thankful that I could be there to kind of be the middle person and to assure them that, like, everything was going to be okay. And so I was just... It was a great opportunity, and since then I've done 3 medical missions.
And you do those on your days off?
No, sometimes. So you can get professional days for that. So you just have to let the Peace Corps know, and then you can go during any time.
And you might be gone for a week?
Yeah, like I've missed a week of school for it.
Okay.
But the Peace Corps, they say, like, we should do it. It's a great opportunity. And even, like, when I did that one I just told you about, I was at a very low point in my service where I was just like, what am I doing? It was post-election, and I was just like worried about the state of the world and my family, and I was thinking about coming back.
When would this have been?
It was March of
25?
Yes, this past March. No, it was February. It was early February. And after I did that mission, I was like, no, I'm going to stay. Like, there's still some good...
You think that saved you?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's definitely one of the big things that saved me. And just medical missions in general. Like, sometimes you get suffocated in your community. So it's really nice to be able to go out and do something different. Like, the last one I did, we specifically went to Haitian communities. And
I was going to ask about that. Haitian communities in the Dominican Republic?
They're called bateys, and so they're basically like little...
Are they like refugees?
No, they're like, they'll just make, you know, little houses out of wood, and there's just a bunch of them, and that's where most of the Haitians live. They're called bateys. And so, especially with the way that the laws have changed there, and for example, like, a lot of Haitians are afraid to go to hospitals now because they could get reported and get deported. So they're not seeking medical care. And so we went to the bateys. Yeah, we went to the bateys, and we got so many pregnant women that needed care. It was general care, so kids that were sick, or someone's arm broke and they needed a sling. That was a very impactful experience too.
Hmm. Are you told to stay out of Haiti?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're not allowed to go, and they don't place any volunteers by the
they
border.
haven't. No.
Yeah.
I think I read that it shut down in 2005. But that just seems to be all the reports I read about or hear about Haiti are just awful.
Oh, it's really sad. And I have some Haitian students too, and two of them, I have had to sit down with them while they're crying because they told me like one of their parents got taken.
Mm.
One little girl, Sabrina, that I walked to school with.
You mean the kids' parents? Are they in Haiti when they got taken?
They were in our community, and they got taken. The immigration.
By who?
The immigration.
Immigration from
the Dominican Republic. Because they go around now, and they will check. Or if they get reports, they'll go to a house.
So if you don't have valid papers to be here, you're out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and if you're from Haiti and you don't have valid papers, passport or whatever,
yeah,
they
and
come and get you.
There is a lot of. There was actually a Peace Corps volunteer. He is very dark skinned. He's from Michigan. He's not Haitian. But he actually was visiting another volunteer, and he left his passport, and he soon realized it, so he turned around, like got another bus to go back, and the immigration forces went on the bus to try and look for Haitian people.
Mm-hmm.
Since he didn't have his passport, they thought he was Haitian, and they took him, and they were going to send him to Haiti. But thankfully,
oh wow,
he got, like, another volunteer was with him, and like they called the office, and they were able to help that situation. But they literally put him in the bus to deport him. And so there's a lot of discrimination that goes on there. A lot of, even among Dominicans with each other. Like if you're darker skinned, they'll make fun of you. They'll be
Is
like,
that
you're
right?
Haitian. Honestly, that was one thing that was super surprising to me. The amount of just like racism in the country was something I was.
I would have had no idea that there's racism.
No, either. It's crazy. It's really bad, and I see it in my school with the way that they treat the kids and the way that they talk to the kids.
Wow.
And even just community members will say things, and I try to say my views, but not, I don't know, in a respectful way.
You've got to.
Yeah, because I know, like, this is where I live, like.
Yeah. Even though your intent may be great, if you come across as a know-it-all,
Yeah, exactly.
then you just wind up alienating people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of the harder parts about the country too, just seeing that.
Well, this is maybe a good time for me to ask this question. You've got 9 months left, you said. What are your plans for 9 months? Do you have goals?
Yeah.
And if you do, you've sat around and you've thought, this is what I want to do. Okay.
Yeah, so thankfully, actually right before I came back to Oklahoma, my two bosses came to my school, and we sat down with the director of the school and the coordinator and some of the teachers, and we planned what I was going to do this year. And so going back to the reading club with the older kids, where they help me with, I'll teach them the tutoring session techniques, and it's very basic stuff that I know that they can do, you know, talking about putting syllables together, matching words, whatever. So I really want to do that, to give them leadership roles too, because a lot of these kids, yeah, I know they can do it. I want to do that. I want to do a lot more workshops with parents, because parents have also asked that from me.
That they want that kind of help.
Yeah, so I want to do some type of like after school workshops with the parents, teaching them different literacy things, or maybe we could do like interactive making different resources that they could use for their kids, things like that. I also want to do the Peace Corps. We got sent reading glasses kits. so I have about like 100 and something. And
Reading glasses?
yeah, so there's instructions on how to put them together and how to test people. But there's a lot of elderly people in my community that need reading glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to do some type of event where we, test people and give them their glasses.
Uh-huh.
That needs to happen within these 9 months.
Is that going to happen in your town?
Yes,
where you
in
live?
my town.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, just do more medical missions if I can help expand that initiative, because I think it's really great, and I hope that every volunteer gets to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, and a huge thing I want to do is just make sure that because you asked a really great question. You asked, like, I'm the only one that's doing the work at my school right now. So what happens when I leave?
Mm-hmm.
So trying to be creative in figuring out how I can make some of the things I do more sustainable. For example, the garden. Like, I don't want the garden to just die when I leave.
So how do you invest in them?
Yeah.
The willingness to keep it going.
Yeah, and I know that they will put another volunteer there after I leave.
You do know that.
They have confirmed that.
Okay.
As long as the Peace Corps still exists, they'll put another one. So that makes me feel a little bit
That's
better.
good. That's
so
good.
I want to try and make some type of resource where I just know that everything that I have built up will be able to be transferred to the next volunteer doing that sustainability work.
Well, that's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And just enjoy my time there. My parents haven't gone yet, so they're going to come. I would love for them to see, because the culture is just so different from Mexican culture, and I'm excited for my dad to go.
Do you expect them to come while you're still there?
Yeah, they're hopefully going to come in October.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And I'm excited for my dad to hear their accent. And
Oh, I would be too. I would.
yeah,
love
I know
it.
they're going to love hearing my dad's Mexican accent, because sometimes I'm talking to him over the phone, they're like, oh my goodness, his accent is so thick. And I'm like, that's exactly what I thought when I came here. I didn't know what you guys were saying to me.
Then after Peace Corps, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let me ask this question: is there a possibility that you could extend for another year? And what do you think about that? And if no, then what's the plan?
For a while I was thinking about it, but I don't think I will extend, because I don't know, I've lived for a while away from home, like in the DR, and then I went to college in LA, and I just have family. I want to be here. I also, have a partner. There's a lot of things that I want to Oklahoma, ideas I have. Now I'm thinking about the master's program. They have educational leadership, and I've been thinking I love like organizing within a school. So I have an administrative job. Peace Corps job has I'm in school. I'm like, why does the principal this, and this, and this? Like, I can't say. I have thoughts in my head every day that I do stuff differently. I love working in environments and with parents, and so I think I could do that for a school district. Would be cool.
So you think Oklahoma?
I think so, because I want family, and I or emailing some of the professors at OU, talk to them about the program. It seems good. That's what I think.
Boy, I would, if I was, snatch you up in a second.
Yeah, and I just have a lot of projects that I've started in Oklahoma to pick back up on. There's it's called Sin Límites, which limits, that me and some people started for Latino high schoolers to learn about Latin American culture. Also do community work related around. This was the third year that it happened. I ran it Peace Corps, so I haven't been in Oklahoma since then. I'll be back, and I wanna invest energy and time in that again.
Oh,
So
that sounds great.
It is a cool program, and even my service has. I'm like, oh, I could teach the kids about this, about the Caribbean now, and this about public service. So there's just a lot of things I want to do in Oklahoma, and I miss my dad and my mom and my brother.
Sure. Okay. Is there anything else that you were thinking about you'd like to tell me, and I haven't given you the opportunity in one way or the other?
Yeah, I'm very thankful for the service that I've gone to do. It's flown by so fast. I remember seeing when I got accepted that it was a 2-year commitment. I was like, oh my God, 2 years.
2 years. It's a
but
long
now that
time.
I'm there, I'm like, 2 years isn't like.
Flying
Sometimes
by.
I wish I had a little bit more time to do stuff. But yeah, I'm just very thankful, and I hope that this is a program that, or the Peace Corps as a whole, is something that can still continue. And it's really, I don't know, I think the work that you're doing is amazing, and I would love to learn more about it. Because, also, I think it's the first time since 2012, but we're hosting a Peace Corps Dominican Republic reunion in October.
Where?
In the Dominican Republic, in the capital. So the volunteers are helping organize that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Oh, I would be.
You could come on over.
Well, I'm not part of the group, however.
It's okay. You're in the Peace Corps still. But yeah, I would be really interested to know too if there's like a network of Oklahoma Peace Corps volunteers.
I don't think so. There have been in the past. There was one in Oklahoma City, or Oklahoma City area, metro area, and then one in Tulsa, one in Stillwater. That's about it. And I don't think any of those are really viable anymore.
Yeah. How did you find the volunteers to interview? Just word of mouth? Or?
Let me shut this off.
We're good.